Good evening! My name's Alex Campbell.
I'm Mark Palmer.
And you're watching the 12,892nd review of Skywalker on the YouTube's machine. Spoilers.
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 Spoilers. So, the Emperor in the opening crawl is just like, he's alive. He made it. He's talking to people. He's alive. It was very anticlimactic.
Yeah, I honestly thought they were going to introduce him in the movie.
Yeah.
Like they were going to find out about him and we'd see their reactions to it, not just bang, Emperor Palpatine is back.
Yeah, have a scene where he's like introduced.
Yeah.
Rather than just like, the Emperor is back. The dead talk. He's sending messages to people. Like, ideally, for maximum impact, they would have introduced him at the end of the Last Jedi.
Yeah, it would have been like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, he would have been like,
It would have been the exact same moment in which you saw Luke, and it would be Palpatine standing there instead and turn around and do a look.
Yeah, roll credits, and then you have to wait 2 years to see the movie.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
not what they did.
Or they would have had it so he did some big electric fucking force lightning.
Yeah.
Or something. You
Just
know?
hear his voice.
Well,
like,
I imagine that's what he would have originally done.
I don't think the JJ intended for him to come back. I feel like Snoke died, and he's just like, what are we gonna do? We'll bring Sidious back.
I mean, it does explain like the whole Darth Vader Mark talking to Kylo thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally
That's
part of
true.
George Lucas's original treatment, which he gave to Disney as well.
Who said that? Mickey Mouse?
I don't fucking know.
And I feel like there is a throwaway line in the film that explains how Sidious is back.
It's literally some people. What it's the same line he says in Revenge of the Sith. Some people think that the dark side of the Force is unnatural or certain. Oh, fucking hell! Normally I can say this line. He's fucking tired. Okay?
We've been working jobs.
Some people believe the dark side of the Force can give you powers that are unnatural. Something like that. You know the fucking line.
I can probably cut it in here.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Yeah.
He's basically like, the dark side of the Force brought me back.
No,
Like,
I mean that's fair. His master was Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, I don't know shit all about Darth Plagueis, eh?
Darth Plagueis was alive in Phantom Menace, eh?
That's interesting.
Yeah, and there's a theory that I don't know if it's a theory, if it's canon or not, but he was like had a major part with Anakin's conception.
Ooh,
Like he was doing like a
cocaine
ritual.
at like a club in like Tatooine, and Shimmy came in. She's like, "Yo, motherfucker, I'll have some of that blood." And they fucked in the toilets.
He was doing some Sith ritual to do with his influencing midichlorians on Tatooine, because it's on the Outer Rim or whatever. It's not a part of the Republic, so he had didn't have to worry so much, and it went wrong.
Yeah.
And that created Anakin Skywalker, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I obviously like Sidious. I just don't know. It feels a bit like it's just like, what do we do now? Here he is.
Yeah, they could have done a better job of explaining it, I think.
Yeah, and like, when you first hear his voice, the sound design is really cool, and Ian McDermott's acting is
Fucking loud too.
yeah, and just the way it's recorded and the cadence and like the compression and like, obviously Disney has a lot of money. Like the voice was just like, rah, the tone of it and everything, it worked beautifully. But yeah, like, for all he did on screen, like, I don't know, I didn't get that much out of him.
What I felt like, what I've been actually waiting to say in this review is, he felt generic. He didn't feel Palpatine. Even though he was talking about his plans about all this sort of stuff, it didn't feel like he even felt it himself.
He wasn't even like really over the top or camp. He was just kind
he
of.
didn't do it. He
was
even
pretty
laugh?
subdued. I don't remember him laughing.
I can't imagine him not laughing.
I don't remember him laughing.
Yeah, I mean, he was attached to some big machine and shit. And like, who the fuck is, like, did all the Empire just follow him to the outer regions? Who the fuck is manning all these ships?
Well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just like, he rises a fucking fleet of Star Destroyers out of the planet that have planet-killing weapons on them that are manned by...
I mean, they were the same weapons that the Dreadnoughts had, right?
Could the Dreadnought destroy a planet?
Yeah, that was the whole thing about it. Those things are fleet killers. They have a big thing they're aiming at. I don't know if they can destroy a planet actually. The whole thing was a Death Star, couldn't it? It had like fucking 8 beams that shot into the water.
So over planet destroyers.
We get it.
The trope is so fucking well worn.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. Like they can just be Star Destroyers.
And what were Palpatine's fucking motivations for destroying every planet in the galaxy? Because that's what he was gonna do. It's like this fleet of planet destroyers is gonna go out and destroy every planet.
I think the idea of it was to the point where if you guys don't just submit to my control, I'm going to destroy everything.
And then what is he gonna do?
Rule over nothing. It's not very motivated. Like that was never what Palpatine was really about.
It was about control rather than destruction.
He was very much about keeping all the planets in perfect in line. Not about destroying them. Like the only reason they destroyed Alderaan wasn't even Palpatine's order. That was Tarkin.
Yeah, he needed to be like more in the first 2 parts of this trilogy. He's just like
I could live with him being introduced in the second one.
Yeah, like, maybe have a little hint or like cryptic reference in the first one. Yeah, but there was none of that.
Well, I mean, if they had him introduced in the second one, I feel like because he did definitely do the Darth Vader voice, which I think was specifically designed to be a throwback to that.
Okay, fair
So that could have been foreshadowing if there was played more out in the second movie. Maybe you could hear him speaking to him or something, you know?
Something, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't because they had to rewrite basically start a movie fresh.
Yeah, so I've talked about this many times, but I'm going to talk about it again. Basically, a trilogy functions like a movie. A movie has 3 acts. The setup of the world, the characters, and the tone. The conflict to introduce the problem, and then the resolution where the problem is solved. And a trilogy acts like that. You have the beginning movie that sets up the world and the tone. You have the middle movie with all the conflict, and then the third film with the resolution. But this doesn't function like a trilogy because Disney didn't plan this out.
Yeah,
they gave it to JJ, then they gave it to some random guy who did something completely different.
The outline should have been there from the get-go for all 3 movies. And okay, you're a director, but you need to follow this. 100%. But they probably were writing each movie as they were going along.
But I don't understand how they would not have planned this fucking multi-billion-dollar trilogy out.
They legitimately just thought about, hey, we just bought Star Wars. People are going to see this no matter what.
Get a movie out, get a movie out.
They didn't legitimately understand how dedicated Star Wars fans are, and when everything went wrong, they only then realized their fuck up.
Yeah. So yeah, Lucas, like, he'd made American Graffiti and THX 1138, so he was kind of an up-and-coming director. But before, like, he made the first Star Wars movie, he planned out the trilogy. It was like, these are the beats, this is what's going to happen. Obviously, other stuff developed later on, like I don't think the Vader, I'm your father, or the Luke.
I mean, that's the way it works, though. Like,
Tolkien spent 10 years writing Lord of the Rings. 10 fucking years, a decade writing these stories. Disney, a multi-conglomerate billion-dollar corporation, couldn't sit down and go, this is what we want to happen in this new trilogy that we just spent $4 billion on.
And the worst part is Lucas gave them the treatments for the first 3 for all 3 of them.
They were just like,
I understand that maybe it was shit because of the midichlorians, but if he's going to go to the effort of saying, here's how the 3 movies could go, would you not think, no, we're going to rewrite them, the 3 movies, and then go ahead with them? But they were just in such a hurry to get the Star Wars shit out so they could sell merchandise and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Basically.
Well, why not release a couple of Star Wars story films beforehand?
Yeah, like dip your toe in with The Mandalorian, Rogue One type of shit.
Yeah.
This is also, and I don't know how I really feel about this, it's like damage control, but this whole thing is kind of damage control. I realise how significant trilogies are with Star Wars, but they could have also gone like, you know, the middle one's fucked up, we don't really have enough time to set up. Yeah, just do 2.
Trilogy.
Yeah.
Literally a quadrilogy. That was fun.
I get that that's...
There had to be more money.
Yeah, I get that that's not Star Wars.
Although the actors would have signed on for 3 movies and they would not have necessarily want to sign on for 4.
Yeah, that's true. There would have been a 3-movie contract and they could have said no. Although, I mean, how big is that...
Literally just killed them off in the 3rd movie if they didn't want to do it.
I mean, how big is that paycheck going to be? Could you imagine how much Daisy Ridley would get for a 4th one?
Not to mention if you're one of those actors, you're like, wait a second, so you're going to fix this so I'm not shamed in front of the fans?
Yeah. They put the paycheck on your desk and you just say, okay.
Yeah, I mean, fuck yeah, I'd do it. No, but I guess they're just so caught up in having to be a trilogy. Like even the new trilogy they're making, the Ryan Johnson trilogy, like trilogy. Why not have 2 movies? Why not have one, see how it goes, and move on from there, like they used to do? No one knew the original Star Wars was going to be a trilogy.
Yeah. It all has to be a trilogy because of the original and the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Carrie Fisher.
No, hold on. We started on the opening blurb, and I just want to point out how absolutely generic that whole blurb was, and none of it was captivating. None of it was interesting.
It was like the Emperor's back, he's speaking to people.
It was Emperor, and then Rey, and then Kylo. It wasn't like it all connecting, which it was kind of like setting everything up. It was just, here's what this guy's doing, here's what this guy's doing, here's what this guy's doing.
Yeah, like Kylo wants to kill the Emperor, Rey's finally getting training.
Kylo just...
And the third movie!
Kylo has the First Order at his disposal, and he goes searching for the Emperor by himself.
I mean, I would have liked to see Kylo discover the Emperor and like be like, I need to kill this guy, rather than it just cut in like...
Yeah, I would have thought it would have been better if the Emperor ended up coming to him and like corrupting him slowly but surely, sort of thing. You know what I mean? I mean, admittedly, it was not what I expected.
No, it wasn't what I expected. I mean, the ending was pretty.
I do think Kylo also gave in to him like straight away and didn't even fight it.
Yeah. I would have liked to see Rey struggle with the dark side a lot more.
That whole thing with her being a Dark Jedi was just a vision.
Yeah. But they have moments, right? So there's this really, really great scene that actually has a lot of tension where Rey and Kylo are like force battling over this fucking ship with Chewie in it. And she accidentally like blows Chewie up and kills him. And then there's a moment later on where like Kylo gets distracted by Leia and she like kills Kylo. Now Chewie doesn't die, Kylo doesn't die. They're both fake out deaths, which would have been effective if they had gone through with them, but
yeah.
They pulled the plug on it. And then like, because of those moments, she should have started struggling with I'm Sidious's granddaughter, I've murdered these people, what is happening to me? If you had two movies, so 4, you could have built on that more. I don't want to turn to the dark side, but I'm killing all my friends. I have Force Lightning. I'm Sidious's granddaughter.
Yeah.
But they were like kind of
hints. She used Force Lightning on Sidious.
That would have been awesome. I mean, she used it on the ship.
I love Chewbacca, but he should have died there.
That moment was so effective.
I was devastated. We were absolutely devastated because we saw it together. We were absolutely sure. We looked, she's like, what? The
music was actually really good. I know that John Williams is like a 9-year-old man and he's not really on his A game anymore, but the music was really effective, and like Daisy Ridley like right after was like, Chewie! And Finn was like, no!
And she was on the ship and she felt like devastated about it.
It had all the right beats and tension and suspense.
Did Kylo just get so shocked by what she just did that he just let them go, or what? Because they just kind of, the next minute, they were gone.
Yeah, I guess he just was like, fuck, man.
To be fair though, Chewie would have been a big part of his life too.
If
he thought Chewie was dead, he would have been like, even if he wouldn't have wanted to show it, that would have been devastating.
Yeah, but then I mean, Chewie's not dead.
Kylo was fucking more built though in this one.
Oh, he's not dead.
He was like,
and doing some pull-ups, man.
No, that was bullshit. I was so, like, I was disappointed he didn't die. Like, oh, it's just a second transport. Couldn't she have felt that? She felt that he was on the other ship.
She can only feel it when it's convenient to the narrative.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like, seriously?
Yeah. So let's talk about Carrie.
And lightning isn't just Palpatine either. I just want to point that out. Just because she's Force Lightning does not necessarily mean she's Palpatine's granddaughter. I know it was used as a sign for that, but...
I mean, Dooku used lightning.
Dooku used lightning in the extended universe. So many people, dark side users use lightning.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a nice little clue that I didn't pick up on.
No. I mean, that was what I thought straight away when I saw it.
Yeah, true.
Because it did a good job of subverting it.
Yeah.
But I just felt like it was unnecessary at the same time. I feel like you would need to want to do lightning to use it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. She was like straining and trying and stuff. The ship could have just crushed.
And she's very inexperienced and like all that jazz.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so let's talk about Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
So they've used deleted scenes from The Force Awakens, and I don't know, all the reviews I've watched are kind of like praising it, saying They did the best they could, you know.
I mean, they did, but that's not enough. That's not enough. You could have just put less.
It really just stuck out like a sore thumb to me. Like, there was one compositing shot where like the lighting was kind of different. I mean, the actual physical like editing of it into the scenes, for the most part, was 99% there. There was one moment where like, looks a bit, the lighting is wrong and it's composited a bit rough. But like, she said nothing. There's all these one-sided conversations that she's saying with Ray. Ray's like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then cut to Carrie Fisher and she's just like, yes.
For me, it wasn't terrible, but except for that one scene where Maz was there.
That was so
she's
bad.
like, now is the time.
she like turns to the camera and looks down the lens and she's like, this is what Leia's doing, this is what Leia's thinking, this is what's happening with Leia. Leia can't say this because the actress died.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, can you not just have, I mean, I understand they want Leia in the film because original trilogy people, but just opening crawl, Leia is dead.
Does anyone actually give a shit about her character at this point?
I mean,
would you not understand the fact that the actress is dead and not want them to just throw her lifeless shell into this movie instead?
Her lifeless shell?
No. Instead, it basically is. It was her, body with no substance.
But what did you really get out of her performance? Nothing.
That's what I'm saying. It's not
she was incapable of delivering any significant dialogue of reverence.
That's what I'm saying. They shouldn't have put her in.
No, I think it would have been better. I understand. Carrie Fisher.
Moment for Kylo and shit, I guess.
But yeah, I like Leia. I have a soft spot for Leia, but I think it would have been better if she wasn't in this. Because every scene I was just analysing the special effects and I was just analysing the dialogue, and maybe like lesser movie people would have been doing that, but for me it was just like,
I don't know. I feel like it was just you wanted her to show her going out or whatever, but it wasn't really like anything special. Like, it wasn't doing her character justice.
She walked off and then they put a blanket on her and she faded away. I'm sorry,
everyone
but
just fades away now.
Everyone fades away.
Fucking Kylo. No, originally they had to be trained to be able to go to Force Ghost. Like King, actually to canon, so they're going to kind of against what they've already said for canon is not anyone can just go Force Ghost. It has to be learned before you die.
Yeah, I mean they do introduce the fact that she's had
I guess Anakin didn't, but he was like the chosen one.
Yeah.
You know?
Bring balance to the
Plus,
Force.
he didn't disappear anyway. He got burnt to nothingness.
Yeah, that's true, he didn't disappear.
So he didn't disappear. But, I mean, maybe Luke might have taught Leia.
I mean, yeah, there is that scene with fucking...
I didn't realise she was trained.
I mean, I think they're just trying to explain the Mary Poppins moment. It's like, hey, the Mary Poppins
What
moment.
I got from that when I watched The Last Jedi was that she just... Like, he obviously trained her how to use the Force, or she'd known she had it, and then she just went on her own way.
I mean, we knew she was Force sensitive.
She was Anakin's fucking daughter, of course she was, you know?
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I did like that, though, that flashback.
That was nice.
nice.
And yeah, the CGI Mark Hamill looked really good. CGI Carrie Fisher looked pretty good. It was a nice little moment.
That was nice.
Yeah, so the first time I watched this, I had kind of a problem with the pacing and how much was jammed in here. Like I said, it's not a conclusion to a trilogy, it's its own movie.
I find it, for me personally, I find it hard to hate on it in a lot of ways because I know that they can't help it because Rian Johnson fucked up the middle so much.
Yeah, what could JJ do?
Yeah, exactly.
What could he do? But my second viewing, I actually liked the movie a lot more the second time. The first time I gave it like a D+, second time I gave it like a C+. But I mean, it's okay.
It's like I was saying afterwards, it was a mess.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things I did not agree with, but at the same time, I did think a lot of it was pretty well done.
It was like fine.
And it was like, so my brother said, when I was talking to him about it, Brad, he said, I don't know his exact wording, but he said, the movie had heart, but it lacked, it wasn't substance. It had heart, but fucking hell, I don't know. I'm so tired, eh? I've just done a fucking really long day. I was just talking about it yesterday.
You write it down in the comments, Brad. It had heart, but it had a mild stroke as well.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Fuck. Oh, that's annoying. I literally had it in my head and it was just gone when I tried to say it.
That's alright, man. I am also tired. Not as tired as you, but a
It's
little
not a
bit tired.
competition, we're both tired. But
You win the competition. You're more tired up.
thank you, sir.
No worries. Yeah, the pacing is alright. It's a very quick movie. It's like the MacGuffin, they need to get the knife to do something or something. And they're on this journey, like, we need to do the thing, and they're on the planet.
I didn't like the Pathfinder thing.
What were they? I've seen the movie twice now. They were getting the it's not a holocron. They were getting the knife to find Sidious. They're getting the knife to find Sidious.
The Pathfinder was needed to find the planet, and for whatever reason, it couldn't just, get coordinates. It's in the outer regions. Like, you don't need a part. Like, it just exists, but no one knows about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could just whatever. It looked like a fucking Sith holocron.
It did, but it wasn't a holocron.
There was two. Conveniently, there was two.
Yeah. So that
And once again, she didn't. Kylo, she could have just gone with Kylo.
she probably should have gone. with
He
that one.
never wanted, no part of Kylo has ever wanted to kill Rey.
Yeah, no, he's like fucking. He's never really like the Force Awakens. I guess he kind of gunned for it, but after that, he's like, no.
No, but even when they're fighting, I can teach you the ways of the Force.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the thing about it is, one cool thing I will give this trilogy, they set up the whole, there's always a balance between the light and the dark. If there's someone really powerful in the dark, someone really powerful in the light, and that Kylo understands this,
Yeah.
and thinks if they work together, they'll be more powerful overall.
Yeah, so
You
the
know what I
one
mean?
thing through this trilogy that worked for me was Kylo and Kylo's relationship with Rey, not necessarily Rey as a character.
Although this episode, she wasn't as bad, I feel. She was fucking stupid.
I thought that JJ did a lot of work in making the trio better characters. There was a bit of character development for them. One of our main complaints with The Last Jedi was that there was no development in this middle section. They were the same people.
Well, that could have been changed if they had added a gap.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
there
know
was
how
no
long
gap.
of a gap this was, but there was a gap.
There was a gap. So yeah, it's like there is some character progressions with Poe and Finn. They're like working their way up the dominance hierarchy.
I will say I did enjoy Finn's character in this movie. I felt like it was a good way for him to evolve because I was never a fan of it for the first two.
Yeah, and I did like
The
we
tension.
haven't even seen Poe interact with Rey other than in this movie. Yeah, they have this tension, and the trilogy works. And I was like, oh, I do like these characters.
Yeah. So all three, well, Rey, yeah, sort of. But Poe and Finn were done really well. But yeah, they totally should have made out at the end.
Oh, yeah, right. So we're watching the movie, and no, like it's this big dramatic moment. It's a conclusion. They've won. And they're showing all these shots of Finn, and they're showing all these shots of people kissing. Dominic Monaghan, who I don't know why the fuck he was in this movie, fucking Mary. There's no need for him to be in this movie. His character did nothing. He's kissing the slug thing. There's like a lesbian kiss, and then like it's
Rey and Kylo too, like spoilers.
yeah, they kiss, and then yeah, it's showing fucking Finn, and then it cuts to Poe, and I was like, ah, it's doing it, it's doing it, and then they didn't do it. I mean, if they had have just like made the fuck out, I would have.
I honestly thought Maz and Chewie were going to as well.
Yeah.
They built that in The Force Awakens, you know?
Yeah. Where's my boyfriend?
Yeah, exactly.
He's in the ship
I love
masturbating.
that Wookiee, you know?
Yeah.
But they didn't. I would have been.
They didn't have the guts to make a white man and an African American man make out for 47 seconds in a Star Wars movie.
47 seconds.
I wanted them to
That
really
is
go
so
at it. Just like
That is a very long. That's a very, very long shot.
that would have subverted
Like different
expectations.
camera angles and shit.
Yeah.
Like
My
zooming in and
darling,
like, yeah.
Ain't good enough for your
Like there's a fireplace and shit.
Yeah, it just cuts to them in the Falcon.
With like a
Yeah.
with a Chewie rug. But I would have worked if Chewie died.
Died.
Just a Chewie
Right,
rug.
not Chewie, yeah. You know I've always loved you. Is it true what they say about black men?
No, but you gotta
Come
see-
and find out, big boy.
You gotta see Finn put Poe's jacket back on it.
Yeah.
But he's like looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
So like comes up. But yeah, they should have done that.
Should have done that. That would have been yeah, like They're rolling the dice. They're taking a risk.
But I mean, it was interesting to see, like, you know, because there was just them there, and he's like, I'll tell you later. And Poe's like, oh, well, when Poe's not here. So I was like, that is a fair way for him to react to that, you know.
So yeah, I guess Finn was gonna say that he loved Rey, but he never said it.
I mean, that was obvious, you know.
I mean, Rey and fucking Kylo was really the chemistry.
Yeah,
for
but
me.
Finn was always never. I mean, Rey was never going to be interested in him, but he was clearly interested in her.
Yeah, it would have been nice if she had broken his heart, then he had gone with Poe. But no.
No. He had gone with Poe, yeah.
You have like his heart like shattered, and then he's like, wait a second.
Turns off women forever and goes to Poe. Poe's always been there for me.
Now that I think about it, I am gay. There's a scene at the end too where Maz gives Chewie the medal. It's like, you finally get your medal, because he didn't get a medal in the heart. That was cringy as fuck.
Yeah, I don't remember that scene.
I was just like, this is terrible. This is AIDS. Maz, why the fuck was Maz in this?
She's been in the first two, she might as well be in the third.
JJ created
She
her.
looked weird too, eh?
She always looks weird. She's butthole eyes.
She didn't even have the glasses on in this one, she was just butthole.
Just full butthole eyes.
You're gonna mess my eye hole.
Oh man. Answer my eyes, Johnson.
I'm Answer My Eyes Johnson, here to Answer My Eyes Johnson's Electronics. I mean, there's so many ants in my eyes.
Snoke is a clone. They're just like, I cloned Snoke. You know, they cut to all the...
and there was like, they had that. It was really cool. The planet was really cool. I'll definitely admit that. They had all the tubes. There was like multiple Snokes.
It was like Ripley in Alien 3.
Yeah, I feel like if they had the multiple Snokes, did you know all the Snokes were fucked up in their head? Like, you'd think
He just couldn't get it right. Like even the finished one, apparently they weren't scars or wounds. It was just a cloning process.
Okay, well that's pretty. Were they cloning process of Sidious? Were they?
I don't know.
That would, because in the original EU, he cloned himself, so that would make sense.
Yeah, they didn't say they were clones of Sidious. It just showed like tanks with.
It would have been cool if at some point, like say Rey was going when she's going to fight him, if fucking another Snoke clone came out and she had to like face off against clone Snoke.
Like
that would have been cool.
Eight Snoke clones come out and like Thriller starts playing and they all start doing
But I mean that one Snoke clone on it, like actually. The actual Snoke would have fucked Rey up.
Yeah, they had it like fought.
Yeah.
He was like 9 feet tall. He
Yeah.
was a monster. You're a monster. But yeah, I mean, there's just, it feels like there was a lot of stuff where JJ just like kind of had to be like, and Snoke, he was a clone. There's also...
I feel like he felt like he had to explain Snoke's origin.
He did. And there was a moment where Dominic Monaghan's character says, oh, why don't we do the Holdall maneuver? And then, you know, the light speed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then they're just like, no, we can't do that.
That's ridiculous. I do like the way there's a few subtle fuck yous to Rian Johnson.
Yeah. So yeah, because the light speed thing, it kind of ruins Star Wars. Because if you can do that, then
Why not just do it all the time? Why not get automated droids to do it?
Yeah, you could destroy the Death Star like that.
Yeah.
So they had a line where it's like, we can't do that. Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that ruins the universe. And then the other moment, I guess, was when Rey threw the lightsaber and Luke caught it. And he was like, you should never treat a lightsaber like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was cringy for me. I was just like, don't acknowledge that horrible moment.
I still cannot, like, I'll never get over that moment. I was waiting for that moment for 2 years.
And then it was just like, what?
I'll never get over it.
Yeah, and like it just acknowledged it right away. It tried to like retcon it. It's like,
well, because I'm sure JJ had this brilliant plan for how that was gonna go.
And fucking Johnson was like, and then he throws it over his shoulder, and we'll cut in the laugh track there, like the Three Stooges.
Oh, are you gonna do that now?
Yes. Yeah, and they showed Porgs. As soon as I seen Porgs, they just got like horrible like PTS when they go down.
Remember.
It's like one shot of like, and I got horrible like PTS flashbacks of the fucking Last Jedi. I was like, no, not again. And they showed Ewoks too. That was a bit cringy.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
I was just like, this is not necessary.
So where the Death Star crashed, was that on just another side of Endor?
I guess so, because there's like people riding horses and shit.
That was so fucking different.
Yeah.
It's a forest moon, but that was not a forest.
Yeah, it wasn't a thick forest and it had like inhabitants who were riding horses who later rode horses on a zombie Star Destroyer with a planet destroying thing. I guess they were in atmosphere.
That chick, she was like Finn's love interest.
Kinda, yeah.
Really
or Lando's love interest.
That was creepy as fuck.
That was weird.
Was it any less creepy the second viewing?
I watched it again and I was kind of like, is he cracking onto her? It wasn't like, okay, I was blazed and misinterpreted it. It was once again like, is this 90-year-old man cracking onto this 30-year-old woman? Because he says, who are you? And she says, have we explained this? There's a moment at the end where they're all making out and
Yeah, that was in the same moment, wasn't it?
So many weird moments during that. Chewie's fucking mad, Poe and Finn are making out. Lando.
It still felt better than the end of the Return of the Jedi though, with the Ewok dance and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so Lando turns to this new character they've introduced and he's like, who are you? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, let's find out.
Yeah, that was creepy as fuck. Why could they're killing all the original trilogy characters? Couldn't they just have Lando get impaled on a spike or something and try and pull himself out of it, then have rock hit him and he gets impaled further?
Yes, let's talk about Lando because he didn't really work for either of us.
No, I didn't like how massive the fleet was. He gathered in 10 minutes.
Yeah, so at the end, it's just like, Lando's here and he saved the day and he has a million billion ships. So, they all rock up at once. It's not like they find the beacon and there are different points in the galaxy, so it takes them longer to arrive. So obviously they met at a rendezvous point.
So he went the furthest planets away to get them first and slowly move closer?
The fucking, what are they called? Who are the new rebels? Who are these people?
The Resistance.
The Resistance is getting destroyed. And Lando's like, we'll meet at fucking Space KFC. We'll rendezvous here. And they all rock up. And
Please, it was clearly Taco Bell.
Okay, yeah, Taco Bell. And then, so they all rendezvous at the same point. So then they can all fly in together in one lot. So it'll be an epic, hey.
Because it's more important that it be epic instead of them getting reinforcements faster.
Instead of it making sense. And another really cartoony moment for me was when the Emperor, force lightning all the ships.
Yeah, he's powerful. And he does have an ability in the extended universe where he can, force storm a whole planet, which causes chaos on it and shit. But I feel like that's just taking control, adding to the atmosphere, not launching into space and directly attacking only specific ships.
Yeah, and I feel
that's the thing about this whole. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you can.
The thing about this trilogy is it's just about okay, here's the Force, my dick's bigger than yours. Everyone's got to be so powerful. Rey's got to lift 1 billion rocks into the air in The Last Jedi. You know what I mean? It can't just, it was a big deal for Yoda to pick the X-Wing out of the swamp. And he's this insanely powerful Jedi Master who can do this. And it was this wow moment. And now it's just Rey picking up massive boulders and Palpatine shooting up. And why didn't he do that in fucking Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
There's no way he was more powerful than in Return of the Jedi.
It needs to keep on escalating and it gets to a point where it's too much. It's The Matrix is the best example of that. They blow the load too soon. Neo was Superman by the end of the first film, and then the second two, they're oh no.
Yeah, and they're fuck. But, I mean, that being said, you can add force powers without going over the top. I definitely was okay with the heal ability, draining, using your force to energy.
Yeah, I was fine with that too, surprisingly, because that feels like a thing that Alex would be fuck that. But yeah, I mean, it fit, and they set it up. They set it up twice, and then the payoff at the end was fucking Kylo redeeming himself and saving Rey. And then
I still think it would have been better if he had to survive.
I would have much rather if Rey had to die.
She did, and he could have. Now imagine if he used the Force to bring it back, right? She comes back, but she's been dead for long enough that she comes back as a vegetable, and then he dies anyway.
And then he kisses her. She's all disabled and whatnot. I would much rather that if Rey had died and Kylo had lived, because they're gonna.
Kylo could have lived just as he's back to the light. You know?
Yeah.
He had an arc, and he lost clearly the woman he loved. But he was back to the light.
Yeah. So clearly they're gonna do what they did with the original trilogy, and they're gonna pick this up in like a decade's time. And I would have liked to see where Kylo's character what he was doing, because he was the only interesting fucking character in this whole fucking series.
He's been saying this from the get-go.
Apart from Harrison
I've always loved Kylo's whole arc,
Yeah.
You know?
Rey was meh.
She was a character, but she felt like she was just the story. She wasn't a character in the story.
Who was she? What are her characteristics? What is she like? She was naive in the beginning. She didn't really want to take on the hero's journey.
I know one thing she likes. She likes shooting TIE fighters in the Millennium Falcon. I like this.
I like this.
Like, you think about Tony Soprano, right? I mean, obviously this example is like outrageous because this character had like fucking 90 hours worth of some of the best writing with like one of the most brilliant actors of all time. But you think about Tony Soprano, right? His character, like, he has a character. He has a character. You think about Rey, like, what are her characteristics?
And she has none. Like, I still can't think of any. Like, she doesn't like killing her friends.
She's happy, unless she's not.
She likes fixing. No, she doesn't even like fixing things. She just can.
Her parent, she doesn't like.
No, okay. But what about Kylo's character?
Yeah, Kylo.
He's conflicted.
He's angsty.
He has a lot of daddy issues.
He's self-conscious because he feels like he's not as powerful as his grandfather.
Yeah, and he feels like he has to live up to that.
Yeah. He's dealing with like being torn for the light and the dark.
And I feel like he also feels like he's made the wrong choice when he killed Han Solo, which is obvious in this movie. And that he's just following the path which he's clearly laid out because he doesn't think he can return from it.
Yeah, so one thing which I forgot to say when we were talking about the Sidious lightning thing, and then we'll get to the Harrison Ford moment. Yeah, so he's electrocuting all these fucking ships, right? I feel like if you're blasting a fucking X-Wing with fucking lightning to turn off all its power, like, how are you not destroying it?
Yeah, why wouldn't he just destroy it? He clearly could.
Because they needed to turn off all their engines so they could fall and then all come back to life.
I was just like, oh, my engines are no, it's gonna be like saying, oh, my engines are disabled.
That's what I thought was happening. I thought he just like destroyed the entire fleet. I was like, oh my god.
But it's gonna show him slowly burn stuff like in that grilled video.
Yeah, just show them like frying. Show Lando and his ship frying.
Well, I mean, they already showed that in fucking in New Hope, right?
Yeah, Brew and Owen frying. Yeah, so you went to the bathroom.
Oh my god. The worst possible time to go to the fucking toilet.
And you came back. So what of Harrison Ford did you see?
Basically, they'd already come to the point where he realized he'd done something that he regretted. You know, I saw maybe about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
I was really having a in-depth conversation. I was like, fuck! As soon as I walked back to it, because I waited to the end of the last scene, so I'm like, okay, cool. They've just done something.
Yeah.
They gotta surely not do anything too crazy. They just had a massive fight.
Yeah, they light that metal. Yeah, so I was sitting there watching it. I'm like,
you went to the toilet just before me too.
Yeah.
Like,
I really thought that it was going to end and you would have gone and come and sit back down. I was going to be like, Harrison Ford was just here, and you'd be like, fuck off,
cunt. No, well, I ran to the toilet.
Yeah.
And ran back.
Yeah, so like I was shocked. And obviously very delighted that Harrison Ford was in this film.
I did not expect it.
Neither did I.
At all.
Like he's said several times, I hate Star Wars. All Star Wars fans are scum.
No, he never said this. He's all like, he wouldn't have done The Force Awakens if it wasn't dedicated to his fans.
Yeah, he said he only did it for the fans, so he doesn't.
Well, maybe
really
he saw how much of everyone hated everything about everything else, but they love Harrison Ford. So he's just like, yeah, alright, I'll come back.
I think it's just like he's out of the loop. Like
I don't get it though. Was he a Force Ghost? Was he a projection?
He was a memory, so he was just like Kylo's internal memory. And basically...
Do you reckon that would have been Carrie Fisher if she wasn't dead?
Probably, yeah.
I'm so glad. Okay,
Although,
that sounds horrible, but if that's the case, I'm glad she died.
Brutal.
Just to have a little bit more Han Solo.
I feel like they wanted all like the original cast in this though. Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Harrison
Mark
Ford.
Hamill scene was jarring.
Yeah, was he wearing a wig?
Yeah, it seemed like it. Because he was wearing a wig in Last Jedi too, wasn't he?
No, that was his hair.
Yeah, right. Well, he's definitely cut his hair since then.
Yeah, and it looked distinctly
Well,
different.
he probably thought I died.
Mm.
I might as well cut my hair.
Yeah, probably thought, fuck this fucking franchise, they fucked me over. Then go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the Han and Kylo scene was mirroring The Force Awakens, but...
This exact same scene where he killed him.
Yeah, like...
He even pulled out a lightsaber out and everything. I saw that part.
Yeah, he touches his face and everything as well. He's just like, he's helping him...
And he even says the same line.
Yeah.
And that moment, like, fills me with, like, like memories, like... I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine if he just thrown his lightsaber off the bridge then.
That would have been a different trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's coaxing him to the light rather than the dark. It's like, it's changing it up, but it's the same scene.
Which is beautifully done. I could definitely say, like I said, this movie has some brilliantly beautiful scenes.
It has some great moments, it has some okay moments, and it has some little moments.
I don't think the Kylo moments are anywhere near as bad as The Last Jedi. I can faithfully say this movie was definitely better than The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi will go down in infamy to me as the worst Star Wars movie of all time.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, we came out of Last Jedi like, what the fuck did we just watch? We came out of this like...
okay, so we saw it,
know.
Wednesday night, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days ago. And within these 5 days, I've had people asking my opinions, and my opinion has been, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings, and I need to wait until I have my review with Alex, so we can talk about it, and then I can kind of work out how I feel. Because I feel like that's what we do. We talk about it, and I realize how much what I enjoyed and what I did.
Yeah.
Plus, we didn't talk about it much afterwards because we wanted to say
it was just like a brief car ride home.
So it's been 5 days of me just thinking about it.
Yeah. Watch it a second time too.
I'm watching it next week.
Yeah, that shame. Like, that informs your opinion.
No, I won't be so fucked either as well.
We were
fucked.
drunk and high.
Yeah, we were fucked.
Like the next morning, I was kind of like, what happened?
Yeah.
What was this movie about?
Yeah. It was,
but I only had like 3 beers.
I'd had 2 at home before I came.
Yeah. I'd smoked some weed before I got there, and then we smoked a couple J's. Doing drugs is wrong, kids. If you smoke marijuana needles, you'll turn into a gay. The propaganda is true. Yeah, my second viewing, I liked it a lot more.
I did say to you, I feel like I would enjoy it more. I think it's probably better than Attack of the Clones as well. And
it's
as
maybe
a movie overall
good.
I feel like I will definitely be able to watch this again without hating it. Like The Last Jedi, no matter how many times I watch it, I feel hatred for it.
Yeah, no, it's a good movie.
And Attack of the Clones I struggle with. There's some great scenes in that too. But I struggle with it. Like Ewan McGregor is great in it.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones is, as far as filmmaking goes, like fundamentally a flawed movie. This, had moments.
It's a mess because it was so much forced into one film.
It is definitely a mess.
I would have loved to have seen what it was originally supposed to be from JJ.
Yeah, if JJ did the second movie.
I understand why he took a break. I get it.
Yeah, it would have been a
You have a life. Right?
Yeah.
But I bet, I'm not going to bet anything, but I'm sure that he right now wishes that he had done the middle movie.
Yeah, probably. And Disney fucking obviously think that too. Because someone else was meant to fucking direct the third film. And they're like, nah.
Hey, as far as I'm concerned, he pulled it off. I was never expecting this to be a brilliant movie.
It's incapable of being a good movie because the second one is so fucked.
Yeah.
It's like a song that the first minute is good, the second minute just fucking dive bombs, and the third minute's alright. It's like, is that a good song? No! Is it a bad song? I don't know. Is it an alright song? No, maybe.
The worst part is like the acting was good in it.
I mean, I feel sorry for Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill was so hurt by this.
Yeah.
Nah, I need to move on.
Yeah. I feel... Mark Hamill was hurt by this. Harrison Ford had a good. Adam Driver did a great job.
Yeah, he came out the best.
That's television.
Daisy
I will say that scene where Kylo and him kissed and everything. There was one moment where Kylo actually smiled and chuckled.
Yeah.
That I was like, That's Ben Solo.
That's Ben, yeah.
And then he dies. It's
Yeah.
like, I thought, because I didn't think he was going to die.
Neither did I.
I was like, he's fucking back. I'm excited to see where this goes. Dead.
See, I would have liked them to pick up the series in like a decade and then see what Kylo's doing. But
Kylo and Rey together, training a new fucking thing.
But I don't want to. Well, give us 10 years. We'll see where I'm at. I'll be an old man.
So we'll be like 40.
That's an old man. I'm already an old man. So Anthony Daniels is the only actor who's been in all Star Wars movies. He was briefly in Solo for like one scene as an extra guy.
Really? That's C-3PO, right?
No, it's just an old man.
Who the fuck wasn't? Oh no, C-3PO wasn't in Solo or Rogue One, was he?
He was in Rogue One. There's a scene where he's like, Archer, they're fucking blah blah blah. He's the only actor who's been in all of the movies.
Just some random old cunt.
Yeah, he's in Solo.
Okay. And?
I thought the C-3PO stuff was alright, and I thought that like he kind of after.
Wait, so it is C-3PO?
Yeah.
I just said that and you said no.
I thought you meant is he C-3PO?
No,
in
the
Solo.
actor.
Yeah, Anthony Daniels, who plays C-3PO.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know his name. Okay, makes sense now. Continue.
Yeah, he's the only actor who's been in all the movies. He wasn't C-3PO in Solo, he was some guy in the background.
That's the best description of him ever.
But I mean, nobody likes C-3PO. But I thought, like, he kind of does deserve...
They nailed his character. 100%.
Yeah, he deserved like a little...
Spot.
Deserved a moment, because like, when was the last time he had a moment in one of these
He
movies?
hasn't. He's on.
Like since...
Oh, in Attack of the Clones, he had that part where his head got put on the wrong body.
Yeah, but like he wasn't in fucking Revenge of the Sith at all badly. He wasn't in fucking Force Awakens barely. He wasn't in fucking The Last Jedi
he's a
barely.
shit character.
I mean, he's not a good character, but they gave him a little send off, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, he didn't even die. He got his memory back and so on. Yeah. I mean, I don't care about C-3PO. He went like, oh, his memory's gone when he lost. I'm like, damn it, just do it. I did love the fact that they barely gave a shit.
Yeah, I mean, who gives a shit?
No one's ever... they carried the Harrison Ford not giving a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I feel good for the actor, because like he gets his little moment in the like last twilight of his life.
Yeah.
Before he dies.
It was cool when they like hacked into him and he had like the red eyes and shit.
Yeah, said something about something. I don't know, there was a storyline in this movie apparently.
What was the point of the dagger again though? I don't remember. What did it even do?
They needed the dagger to find the holocron on the Death Star. But it wasn't a holocron. And they needed the holocron to find Sidious. I
did like that moment where Rey was on Kylo's ship. Which was in his quarters and they had the force projection go on.
Yeah, so that's one thing from The Last Jedi that
they
Abrams kept, and enhanced. They like
he did it better.
Swap lightsabers. Yeah. So there's like one moment where Abrams is like, nah, actually that was alright.
I don't know if I like the fact that they were fighting and she gave him the lightsaber and he actually had it. But it was cool the way she brought out Leia's lightsaber after that.
Yeah, and I like when Darth Vader's helmet like fell down. It's like, oh, you're in my quarters.
Yeah. No, he didn't even say that. He said that to someone else.
Yeah, he locked down a ship. Those motherfuckers are saving Chewie. He should have died. That was an impactful death.
He really should have. My other brother Tim, he straight up said Chewie should have died. I'm like, yes, 100%, I agree.
That scene was well executed.
Because I was like, oh, and then I felt cheated. Like, you toyed with me.
Yeah, like a cheap puppet. Yeah. I need to pee. So Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter. That old creepy man fucked somebody. That's the big shocker here.
I think honestly,
Palpatine jizzed in somebody.
I honestly thought that's probably the best way to go about her parentage.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense for her to be Obi-Wan's kid.
It's kind of like the whole movie. I was fine with it, but it didn't blow me away. It was like...
I've heard theories about it already, so I wasn't surprised.
Kylo was just like, and you're Palpatine's daughter. I'm like...
It's the only one that makes sense.
Okay.
Because Palpatine was like an emperor. Would he not have bitches?
That's cool.
You know, I don't feel like it was someone he loved. I legit feel like he just...
got his nut off and so...
Yeah.
Woman.
I do like the fact that his like son. I believe his son was the.
Yeah, his son raised.
Didn't want anything to do with him. He knew what a monster his father was.
Yeah. Also noticed in this film, like the Emperor has always like had heavy makeup on, but in this film it was just Ian McDermott without makeup. He's like old and ugly enough now to
Was
just.
it really?
Yeah, like.
With contacts, obviously.
Yeah, and like black around his eyes. But you know, like when Mace Windu like electrocuted him and he was like the Monster Mash creature.
Yeah.
The mash. The Monster Mash. Now it's like the guy is ugly enough to play that character without makeup. It's just like that was him.
Wow.
I mean, you know, the Emperor from Jedi, like he has lumps on his head and he's all fucked
Yeah, he
up.
was super young in that though.
Yeah, he was. That's the first one he did. Yeah, and then now he's just. They didn't have any of that.
They did when he like got his essence back.
I mean, his fingers are all fucked up.
No, but they actually legit made him have like the lines here. And
Yeah,
shit, like he
okay.
had. You know, I don't get why he went back to what he was instead of just.
I mean, I don't even know how he came back. The dark side of the Force!
The dark side of the Force is a path to many abilities most would consider unnatural. That's the line.
He's done it.
He said that line again. I remember when we watched that, and I was like, that's legit just what he said in Revenge of the Sith. I didn't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking back on it, I was like, yeah, okay. Like I watched a review of it, the one I sent you. I was like, yeah, that does sort of explain it because Darth Plagueis had that, but he legitimately puts the line in saying, he can save others from death, but not himself. I guess it would make sense that he would explore it,
Yeah.
but how? He was dead and he didn't see it coming.
He exploded.
He had a contingency plan, maybe? He did, to be fair though, it's Palpatine. He would have thought out of every possible...
But see, what you need, right? Now stay with me here. This is going to be an outrageous statement. What you need in these fucking series of films is a scene in the film where you properly explain how the Emperor came back.
But to be fair though, they probably have
Not just a throwaway line.
They probably have no idea how to explain it, so it's like, fuck it.
He's back! Who cares? He's
Could it
back.
not have just been, like, instead of him actually being back, don't get me wrong, I love Ian McDermott, and even though he wasn't much in this film, I'm still happy to see him.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't there just have been some droid trying to clone Palpatine and sending clone after clone of Snoke?
I mean, there could have been like a million different things, but there wasn't. The Emperor's back in the opening crawl. Snoke was a clone.
That was, definitely for me the most disappointing thing of this. Like, and it's weird because I went into it thinking that's the only thing I'm excited about.
Yeah, and then it was pretty stock. So General Hux, right? Johnson fucked him up and Abrams just killed him.
Yeah. He was, in the first movie, he was feared.
He was like a Nazi, like, general.
He was a leader as well. Like, he was the leader under the leader.
Yeah, then Johnson made him a joke and Abrams was just like, well, let's just kill him.
Yeah.
He's fucked.
I was not expecting him to be the mole. Like, he just seems so faithful to the First Order. I get
And then
it.
by these reasonings, like, I just want Kylo Ren to suffer because he was mean to me. And like, you're a bitch. And then he
Snoke
dies.
was mean to you. Snoke like pushed you against the floor and dragged you across the ground.
Everyone was mean to you.
Everyone saw it, but no one wasn't in the Force Awakens except for Kylo.
Yeah.
And it was like this rivalry they had, which I guess sort of translates, but it came across as like he was a little bitch.
Basically, that character got flushed down the toilet. No Phasma, which is good because that character
Oh yeah,
was never good.
Phasma. I didn't even think about her when I was watching the film. I do feel sorry for the actress. I feel like she would have originally had screen time as her actual face in the final movie.
I remember when they cast Gwendolyn Christie. I'm like, that's great. She's a great actress.
That's what I mean.
This makes sense. And then like nothing. Nothing in The Force Awakens, nothing in The Last Jedi, not in The Rise of Skywalker.
She was just thrown there because Kathleen Kennedy wanted that character.
Yeah, she swanned in with a latte like, that's a pretty picture, put that one in the movie, ho 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 ho, and then swanned off. All aesthetics, no depth. The Knights of Ren! Speaking of all aesthetics, no depth, who are the Knights of Ren? I don't know. Nobody knows. It'll be a comic book. Fuck you.
Personally, I feel like they were going to have a massive part in the second movie. I feel like that was where they were going to like...
They literally weren't mentioned or seen.
Even they were mentioned in this movie.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
they
they were
were
in this
clearly
movie.
there, but they never even said, oh, so you're my old proteges or whatever. Oh, so now you're working for Sidious instead of working for me. You are the Knights of Ren. I am Kylo
I'm Ren.
You know?
You're the Knights of Ren.
Like, nothing. He just
Yeah.
he brutally murders one from the get-go.
Yeah, like they were students from fucking Luke's academy.
I honestly thought, yeah, they were well, clearly that's how they were set up. Because in The Force Awakens, I remember them saying him and a handful of students escaped and killed the rest.
Yeah, so
So they would have
presumably...
been the handful of students. Okay, fair enough. They don't have lightsabers. Maybe they just use the Force.
I
was
don't
really
know.
keen to see a Force user who
They
used
never
blasters
used the
and
Force
shit.
though.
No, they didn't.
They would like...
They were just there for closure of the fact that they were mentioned.
That's why you needed 2 movies.
Couldn't you have easily done like a separate movie / series or something about the Knights of Ren?
I mean, it's better than just setting them up, them not being paid off, and then
Setting
just
them up
cramming
fine.
them in, but literally not
But you
explaining
could have
any
had
part.
literally like cut out a few parts of this movie and just had that whole scene be more. Add some dialogue to it. Add like clearly even I'd be happy with not knowing the whole story, but you could write lines well enough to know there's history there.
Could they not have made like a 4-hour movie?
There's no way that they could have. Like Disney, was no way they'd let them do that. Could they, like 2 movies? This one, the bad guys could have been the Knights of Ren. The next movie, the bad guy could have been Sidious.
And you're like,
Even Sidious, like bang, like oh, lightsaber. Oh, 2 lightsabers. What about second breakfast? Like,
it was literally the scene with fucking Mace Windu and Sidious again.
but except they won.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, his head melted and it was brutal, but it was so generic.
But I
and it
don't
was so
think that
predictable
his
and it was-
Force lightning can melt people. Like, I would have done it to Mace Windu. It would have done it to Luke. Even when it's like, you will die.
But this is super lightning that electrocuted a fleet but didn't explode it, so then it could revitalize.
I did like the way they kept the purple tinge to it, which he had in the Return
Yeah.
of the Jedi and...
Do you remember in Return of the Jedi when that old motherfucker used lightning and everyone was like, "What the fuck? This guy uses lightning?"
Yeah, Luke.
I did not see
Luke didn't
this
see it
coming.
coming.
Yeah,
He
this
was
is
just
the
like,
thing.
you can't do shit
Yeah.
to me.
And then like 37 years later, you cut to this one. It's like, yeah, he uses
He has
lightning.
to use lightning to affect
he's-
a whole
He's
fleet.
still using lightning.
I was okay with him using lightning. Like, if,
I know, but like, what did he do? He came in and then Rey killed him.
he did nothing. He was using Kylo as his puppet, but barely. Darth Vader was.
What did he use Kylo as his puppet to do?
Originally, he was going to rule for him, I imagine, because he didn't honestly think he wasn't planning. I don't get why he didn't take Kylo's life essence to begin with.
Yeah, and then he wanted Rey to kill him, just like he wanted fucking Luke to kill Vader. So.
But okay. Can we? Okay, I can't believe we haven't mentioned this yet. Can we talk about the fact that Darth Sidious has every Sith Lord inside him?
And Rey has every Jedi
That's
inside of her.
That's never been a thing. Like ever. There's so many different. If you ever look into Sith Lords of the ancient times, right? They don't agree on shit.
Alright, so there's a lot of moments in this movie where it's like one line that explains it. Snoke was a clone, Sidious is back, all the Sith are within me. It's like, there's not enough time or depth to properly develop these ideas. It's just like, all the Sith are inside me.
Okay.
Moving on.
Straight up, I got something to say. If all the Sith are inside whichever Sith Lord is available, what the fuck's the point of Sith holocrons of Sith passing on their teachings? What the fuck happened before the rule of 2? When there was a Sith Empire, which was filled with Sith, which is in the Old Republic, where like there's constant conflict between the Sith Lords because they're fighting for power. There's no way he has every single one of the Sith Empire Sith Lords inside him, because Darth Revan created the rule of 2. Right? Before then, at the Outer Regions, there was just a Sith Empire.
Yeah.
And then he dies. And then, he gets captured or whatever the fuck happened to him. Like, and then the Emperor, who was far in the Outer Regions, ironically, which actually was sitting on the same throne, I'm pretty sure the Palpatine was.
Yeah.
This is where I think it came from.
Oh, that's kind of
I'm not 100% sure. I stopped playing the game.
Sure.
But he comes back and he brings the Sith Empire with him, which is like there's so many Sith Lords ruling over the Sith Empire, which is like a treaty.
Yeah.
There's a treaty with the Republic, which is really interesting about that game because they're not at war. It's like this very delicate balance between the two. The Sith. That's why you can play as both sides.
Yeah.
And basically, yeah, and then that happens, and there's all the conflict, and so whatever. The Republic wins, obviously.
Yeah.
And then 1,000 years later, Darth Bane finds a holocron of Darth Revan explaining the rule of two. And he's the one who brings the rule of two back, which is what Sidious follows.
Yeah.
He is mistaken as a creator of the rule of two, which is on a lot of YouTube videos, might add, but they're wrong. Darth Revan created it, he brought it back, and he's the one who made it a mainstream thing, and from that moment on, all the Sith Lords are a rule of two.
Yeah.
But there's no way that there could be the Sith Lords in that.
So there's this book called Dune Messiah by Frank Herbert, and there's this giant slug monster that's like the evolution of a sandworm and Paul Atreides. And he has all the genetic memories of all his predecessors. And it goes into this idea in depth, and him like delving into the knowledge of all these people. Then
this is Dune, right?
This is Dune.
Like you and Jasper were talking about.
Yeah, him. He has all the genetic memories of all his ancestors, and like it gets to the point where like he can see every possible future, and he can't see a way out, and
he goes crazy, right?
He goes fucking. He's a worm monster.
You have to. He's not just memories though. He's also like their personalities though, isn't he?
He's like everything. Like all these people living inside of him and having an argument. There's this moment where his sister is like taken over by Baron Harkonnen and like possessed by her, and they need to kill her and shit. The point is a really in-depth,
it's
and,
like massive
thought
thing.
out, and intellectual and well-written sci-fi concept. And then in this film, Sidious is like,
with one line,
all the Sith live within me, and then Rey's like, all the Jedi live within me, my pussy.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, because like, it's just another thing where she's so powerful, yeah, she has that fine. Whatever.
I did enjoy like hearing like the Sam Jackson line and the Liam Neeson line.
Like you said, Ahsoka was probably in there too.
Ahsoka was probably in there.
I love Ahsoka so much.
And Luke Skywalker, obviously, and
Anakin was, because Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, he said something about the Chosen One. Yeah.
And obviously Ewan McGregor as well.
Yeah, so that was
cool, but like not necessary.
But why are all the Jedi living within her, and why are all the Sith living within him?
Like, I feel like it's not the same as the Dune thing. It's more like their no, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't work. Okay, they didn't set it up.
They didn't set it up at all. There was a line. It was one line. And all the Sith live within me. Really?
It was straight up as a line supposed to be the final. This is the end. This is all the Jedi. This is all the Sith. It's like I thought the whole point of this new fucking trilogy was to let the Sith and the Jedi die.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Even before that, though, it seemed like they were heading that way, because Snoke wasn't a Sith. They were very, very much about that. Like, he thought that you needed portions of light and portions of dark to be more powerful.
Yeah. It's about a more middle ground grey area.
The balance of the Force was using both.
But now it's just like the Emperor-verse, right?
Yeah, so it kind of went back on that, which I thought was cool, because Snoke doing that was like a... He believes in balance of the Force. Darth Vader brought balance to the Force. You know what I mean? So it kind of worked.
Yeah.
And they shat all over that. But why would Snoke do that if it was just Palpatine's puppet?
Palpatine's clone?
Clone, puppet, whatever it is.
So, they didn't know what they were going to do, and they did a thing. And...
I feel okay.
They didn't have to. They didn't set any of this up.
Like you said,
this is the third film.
It was shorter than The Last Jedi too, wasn't it?
I don't know. It went for like...
The Last Jedi was the longest Star Wars film.
This might have been longer. I don't know.
I hope it was fucking longer. Fuck The Last Jedi.
It should have been fucking 4 hours. They needed 4 hours to explain Sidious, to explain the Knights of Ren.
People would never watch it. I know we would.
Dude, I watched fucking... Yeah.
No, like I said, we watched all the extended cuts of Lord of the Rings, no issue. You know,
but all the dead shit.
I won't watch the normal versions because I've seen it extended. Same with Avatar as well.
Yeah.
But people don't like that.
They don't want to sit in a movie theater for 3 hours.
No.
They didn't have enough time to set up everything.
I know, 100%. They would have if the story.
If the second movie had have played a part in the narrative.
It's funny because originally it was like, oh, you know, maybe if we hate this movie, it'll be fine because we'll be hating on it. But it's
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
It's made me hate the fucking Last Jedi even more.
Yeah, it's not Indiana Jones. Like Indiana Jones tells 3 separate stories. You can't do that.
This is one arc.
It should be.
One story.
It should be.
I mean, say what you want about the prequels, it was still one story.
Do you know what Lucas...
The prequels and the sequels, one story.
Do you know what Lucas did before he made the prequels? Thought about what was going to happen in those 3 movies.
No, well, okay, so think about the actual plot of those 3 movies. If it was executed properly, it would have been absolutely amazing.
It's the downfall of Anakin Skywalker. What is this new sequel trilogy? It's the Rey being good at the Force. It's
They should have
Rey.
concentrated more on Ben Solo's character.
They should have.
Or they should have done what the original what the legacy.
I thought you were gonna say Lego Star Wars video games did. You should have done what Lego Star Wars video games
the
did.
legacy era of the original EU.
Yeah,
which
there's
was
so much.
Which was okay. So picture this, right? I know you're not all that into the extended universe sort of stuff. So picture this, like Luke didn't believe after episode 6 that the Jedi were 100%. So that's not a brand new idea. So he didn't think the Force powers were evil. He thought the way you use them was evil. So he had no issue with his students using dark side powers as long as they used them for the right reasons. So he had no issue with you using Force lightning or whatever if it was for an important reason. Right? That's a basis. And so therefore, he also felt that it was okay to fall in love and have children. So that was where he had kids.
This is already way more depth than Luke got
So he
in
had
this trilogy.
Yeah. So he had kids. He trained in New Jedi Academy. That's like a full-on thing. And then Han Solo and Leia had kids. That's fine. And then one of Han Solo's kids with dark hair, which Kylo was clearly based off, named Jaden Solo, turned to the dark side. Fell under the obviously got corrupted by the Sith Lord Darth Krayt, I believe his name was.
Yeah.
I'm not actually super strong in this, but I know enough about it. And that started a Skywalker civil war between the Skywalkers and the Solos. Jaden kills his own cousin, Mira Jade Skywalker, in cold blood.
Why
You know
did they
what I
not
mean?
just make them into movies?
They could have just made it. There was a super hot Twi'lek Sith Lord in that, Darth Talon, who used 2 lightsabers.
Well, you've already got the source material. You paid $4 billion to own it.
Yeah.
Just record it.
They
with
probably
the camera.
thought people would be pissed, but the people who don't know about it would love it, and the people who do know about it would.
Love it. You know, sometimes they make books in the movies.
But can you imagine a fucking civil war there?
Wait. Could you imagine if the trilogy was good?
I view the original Legends continuity as just an alternate universe. So in my mind, that still happened.
It's sad that they deleted it though. And then this is canon. Porgs reference the lightsaber. Was Mark Hamill wearing a wig? Young CGI Luke and Leia was a nice touch. Luke bringing up I mean, a big part of the main part of Last Jedi for me was flushing Luke Skywalker, my beloved childhood hero, down the toilet. And part of me wanted him to be redeemed.
But it was a once-again throwaway.
Yeah, I knew they didn't have time to redeem Luke Skywalker's character. But I mean, it was kind of nice to see.
It was just put in there.
It was kind of nice to see Mark Hamill in this.
But he was just like, I was wrong. Everything I told you in the last movie was wrong, which it was. We knew that, but it
everything Ryan Johnson did was wrong. And then he brings up the X-Wing, and they play the fucking thing from when Yoda brought it up, and your heartstrings are like,
Force Luke uses, like Ghost Luke.
I don't know, he caught a lightsaber.
Well,
a physical lightsaber.
I feel like
he was wearing a wig!
The fact that Yoda did the Force lighting, he actually managed to use the Force. Okay, so he managed to physically do something, right? The thing about, which I thought was interesting enough in the original trilogy, was the fact that Obi-Wan says, if you go to fight Vader, I cannot help you. Like clearly, I can talk to you, but I cannot use the Force in a physical way.
I'm a ghost.
Exactly. I mean, in the Legends continuity, the Sith ghosts could. Like poltergeist sort of thing. Like it pick stuff up and throw it, basically.
I feel like that fucking X-Wing will be fucked. How long can an X-Wing fucking sit underwater? 20 years?
Matter.
Star Wars! Million years?
Oh, That was, although watching Last Jedi again before I watched this, I did like that scene where it did show the X-Wing in the water.
That was a great visual representation of where his...
But what is it with him and crashing shit in the water? it was a beautiful planet. Like, Dagobah made sense.
I thought they were going to destroy the Falcon, and I really would have... Like, I love, obviously...
They might as well have.
Yeah, but they like...
Destroyed the Falcon, then had Lando fall back on, like, and get impaled on...
I just want Lando to get impaled.
I really want Lando to get impaled.
But
Because they killed all the good characters in the original trilogy and left Lando, who was fucking trying to hook up with a fucking 25-year-old.
Apparently. I mean, Billy D. Williams, he's a guy. But, like, Lando did nothing for me.
I guess it totally makes sense though, because in the original,
he was the only one they had left, Mark.
I know, but in the original trilogy, he was always, even though Leia was clearly with Han, he was clearly trying to fuck her.
Yeah.
So I guess it sort of makes sense he'd still be trying to hit that, but it's disturbing.
Surely that's not what they were trying to do.
Okay, so you watched it twice, and both times you got that feeling that.
Yeah, they didn't execute it right.
Well, what else could he possibly be saying?
She says, I don't know where I'm from, and he said, well, let's find
Maybe
out.
he has power?
He wants to investigate into her heritage through Ancestry.com.
They don't have the internet, dude.
He wants to penetrate her pussy with his 9-year-old...
That sounds more accurate.
Let's see, what else we got? Yeah, so I thought the first two acts were kind of good, and then for me, once the zombie fucking Star Destroyer fleet with a planet destroyers and Emperor Lightning and the generic Rey kills the Emperor ending, that's kind of where it fell apart.
Would it not have been better if, say, Kylo and Rey were trying to take on the Emperor, and the Emperor had have killed Rey, and then Kylo finished the Emperor?
Say that again, sorry?
Would it not have been better if like Kylo and Rey were fighting the Emperor? Which I know that did happen.
There was a moment where they had a shot of both of them.
He got launched off a cliff.
Yeah.
And then, should there not have been a moment where, say, like, the Emperor killed Rey, and then because of the, like, Kylo losing that, he killed the Emperor?
Yeah.
That would have been a better redemptive storyline, in my opinion.
I feel like it was so basic and predictable.
I honestly, no, it was so unpredictable because it was so bad that I would never have predicted that that's the way they would have gone with.
I mean,
that's
Rey...
such a pathetic way to beat a villain, holding two lightsabers in a crisscross.
And then the lightning...
Until he dies.
And then the lightning melts his face like it did in fucking what's the third?
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. And then he's dead. You bring him back, he doesn't laugh, he dies.
He doesn't laugh.
You bring him back, you don't explain
he laughed
it,
in the fucking trailer though.
He must have.
Surely he laughed.
Surely he laughed.
He had to.
He had to have laughed.
Did he laugh in Return of the Jedi?
Yes! When Luke finally and then Vader's like, good doors, and he falls over and he cuts off his hand and the Emperor walks in and says like
Not only that, the first laugh was when he actually falls and he picks up the lightsaber and they first connect.
Your rebel fleet is doomed. Pick up your saber, a Jedi's weapon, and destroy me.
But Luke's moment.
William is doing like a little fucking, like the fucking...
But the build-up! Luke, the build-up to that even. Luke's fucking moment where he's just like, soon I will be gone, and you will be too. And he just legit unloads like, you talk about the imminent attack of your rebel fleet, which I planned for, cunt. And he's just like, wait, what? No, it just completely destroys that smug.
Dude, that character was like, fuck all of your, I am the baddest ass ever.
But that was the badass scenes which had control. It was awesome in the prequels
he was the puppet master.
See him pulling the strings without being obvious, which was amazing.
Yeah, the puppet master.
They nailed that in the prequels.
The super fucking intellectual puppet master controlling everything without anyone realizing.
And then he was in the sequel.
And he rocked up, he was talking to Kylo because he wanted him to be his friend, and then he died.
Yeah. I felt like maybe I would have been happier. Like, do you remember me saying, actually, I'm really worried about Ian McDiarmid being in this, they might ruin the character. They didn't though. I don't feel like they ruined the character. I just feel like maybe he came back from the dead and he was missing half his brain. You know, he was still amazing in the first 6 movies.
Such a good character. Such a good character.
He was like the epitome of evil.
He was, and I mean, I don't know, he had black lipstick on in this, that's pretty evil.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't, yeah.
John Williams' score when they had the lightsaber battle, that was a moment where I'm like, this is a nice score.
Yeah, he does good music, let's be honest.
He's written some of the most iconic music pieces in film history ever! Jaws!
At least, I'm just glad he survived to actually finish this trilogy.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody survived.
Lando did.
Yay! I loved it when he rocked up and he sat in the chair and he said the things that he said.
Can we talk about Rey's lightsaber at the end of the movie?
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that whole end scene. So they have we beat the Emperor moment, and then it cuts to Tatooine and we see Luke's homestead from episode 4.
I did get a bit of like nostalgia feeling there.
I know, but it's just the imagery, right?
It's not unnecessary though.
You can bring up any of the imagery from
How
the
did
original.
she even know where he was from anyway?
He told her.
Yeah.
Leia told her.
You can always just throw that in.
Somebody told her. Like, okay, there's setup and payoff in a movie, right? Where you set something up, and then you pay it off in an impactful moment. And then there's bringing up imagery from a set of movies from your childhood, which are impactful because those movies are good.
Yeah.
It wasn't good seeing Tatooine in the homestead because they set it up and built it up good in this film.
It was good because you
remember the old films and they were good.
Yeah.
You remember the fucking naive farm boy at the beginning of the archetypical hero's journey.
Even in the prequels when it was used, it worked well. Because it made sense.
Yeah, so she goes back. I mean, the homestead should have been a lot more fucked up than it was, I feel like. I mean, how long ago was that? Like, 50
I feel like there'd be
years?
fucking people living there anyway. Like,
It should either be destroyed or, it should be renovated. But it was, like, kind of built in. And then it was just like, the 2 sons, and she buries the lightsabers, and it's like, we're done, it's over.
Leia wasn't even there at all, but I guess you can't bury an old one, can she?
I mean, they showed a Force ghost of Luke and Leia. And I was just like,
I don't even remember that.
I'm so dumb.
At all.
I was just like, can we go home? Are we going home now? Let's go home. I want to go home.
Yeah, but mostly what I was talking about was the color of her lightsaber.
Okay, so she buries Luke and Leia's lightsaber. She's like, we're done. And then she's like, finally, I'm getting a character. Look at my
It was her
lightsaber.
specific lightsaber she made, which I feel like she should have made last movie, personally.
She should have made that thing.
I always thought, honestly, with the staff, that it was going to lead to the point where she had a double-bladed lightsaber.
Which
Never happened.
No, but
it did as a Sith.
It did look like the hilt of her original staff.
But it was yellow.
What is the significance of that?
So, I mean, I don't know what the canon, like Disney canon significance is, but in the original canon, it was blue means Jedi Guardian, which is mostly like lightsaber combat. Green was the Jedi Consular, which was like mostly about force powers. And then Sentinel, which was yellow, which was like a mixture of the two sort of thing.
Okay.
Like more of a medium level. But in canon, there isn't any yellow lightsabers at the moment. The whole thing, the kyber crystals, when you get them in the new canon, is they're like white. And then you have to pick it up and it changes color in atonement to your force, like blue or green or whatever. And then in order to make it red, you have to bleed the crystal. You have to pump your dark side energy into it till the crystal suffers to the point where it bleeds and becomes red.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. There's actually a comic where Darth Vader actually, when it shows him bleeding his crystal, it was actually a green crystal, ironically, which was, a lot of people believe it might have been Qui-Gon's, that Obi-Wan kept on Tatooine. And there's like a moment where he goes to bleed it, and then it gives him like a Force vision, because they're Force like crystals.
Yeah.
Where he goes and confronts the Emperor with a green lightsaber and defeats him and shit like that.
Yeah.
But then decides to turn to the dark side, and that point is when he like unleashes the dark side energy on the crystal and turns it red.
That's cool.
Which is a cool concept. The fact that Darth Vader's red crystal was Qui-Gon's.
Yeah. Well, it's like for me that moment, like the creation of a lightsaber is like a significant moment in a character's arc, right? When Luke made his own lightsaber.
The Jedi Master at that point.
Same with all the others. Like, and then we get this moment right at the end of the last film. It's like, okay, finally this character is gonna do something, and then it's roll credits.
Yeah. I mean, in the original...
Down with the old school, barbarian Luke and Leia's lightsabers. Hey, my character's doing stuff.
I feel like I have to just point out the original canon. You could just find different colored kyber crystals for your lightsaber crystal. They didn't come naturally red.
Yeah.
The Sith created synthetic lightsaber crystals which were red.
Yeah.
So it almost felt like a Sith could never make a lightsaber with an actual crystal, which is kind of like a fuck you.
Yeah.
Sith, which I thought was interesting. But the yellow one in the new canon, I have no fucking idea. I know for a fact in Rebels, Ahsoka, I haven't seen it, but Ahsoka has silver lightsabers, so no color, they're just white, which is like a grey Jedi.
Yeah, okay.
It's not light side, not dark side, so they just kind of stay in their original color.
Yeah.
Which was in like the original KOTOR games, which I always made my lightsaber silver.
That is kind of cool.
It was just white, but it was just I just loved it.
Interesting.
But yellow, I don't know in the new canon.
I have no idea, man.
They haven't built it up.
There are like 13 things I have no idea about in this fucking movie. So Mark, do you have anything else you want to say about The Rise of Skywalker, the final film in all of the Skywalker saga?
I feel like I'll have more to say about it when I watch it again, and in our next gen review, I'll probably mention it.
Yeah, our next.
So stay tuned.
Whatever it is, Vikings.
The lightsaber thing was the main.
Yeah.
thing I wanted to speak about.
So basically, in conclusion, reiterating what we've been over 1,000 times, they messed the trilogy up. Disney, the multi-conglomerate billion-dollar corporation, was incapable of planning out this 3-movie arc that they spent $4 billion on. They let one guy do a thing, they let a separate guy do a completely different vision, which did not gel with the first guy's
Kathleen
thing.
Kennedy seemed twice as happy with The Last Jedi than The Force Awakens, if anyone noticed on social media.
And then they let the first guy do another one because everyone liked that one. But the whole was
everyone liked it, but people didn't like it, but it was just like, another thing where, some fans don't like the movie. That was all it was. It wasn't a big deal. Then The Last Jedi came out. It was like Battlefront 2 of the movie world.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Rotten Tomatoes score of Rise of Skywalker?
I think the critics score is like 50% and the audience score is like 80% or something.
Yeah, but I've seen a picture which has the two next to each other, The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, and it's like the opposite. Like for the Rise of Skywalker,
the critics say
the critics were it's like an almost exact opposite. But the critics is like 379, while the audience is like 27,000 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Critics are fucking sellouts. It's like I get a free ticket to the premiere and I'll say whatever you want. I'll plug this product and say whatever you want.
Lucas didn't even go to the premiere. Hey.
I did see some clickbait thing. I was like, why? Lucas wasn't invited.
Yeah, I saw that too. I didn't click on it.
Yeah.
So that's clickbait. But all I care was I didn't even go.
I mean, why would you?
I wouldn't. Yeah, he's totally gonna watch it though.
Did he go to any other premieres?
Yeah, he went to the first 2.
Did he? He went to The Last Jedi?
I'm pretty sure. I think he's probably like us. The moment he saw that, he's like, no.
I would love to sit down with Lucas and talk about
can you imagine if this channel got big enough we could invite Lucas?
It would never get that big. No channel is big enough to invite George Lucas.
Maybe PewDiePie.
I don't think so. I think he'd just be like, no, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, you think about where PewDiePie is.
I don't even know if he's allowed to discuss any of that shit with the thing he signed.
I don't know.
Because he hasn't.
I think he just doesn't give a fuck. Like he's done. He's an old man living his life, and he doesn't want to see it. He doesn't want to be part of it. It's like his baby, and his baby's being raped in front of him. And he just wants to move on with his life.
You think that people who see their babies getting raped in front of them just want to move on? They don't want to do anything about it.
I mean, if he started...
He can't do anything about it.
If he started slagging out on Disney, it'd look worse. Just shut the fuck up, old man.
It would make it blow up even more and he kind of just wants to stay out of it. Then he's got nothing to do.
He got so burnt from the prequels in the public eye. Like,
And the prequels were okay. In comparison, the prequels were fucking great. Like, I'm sorry.
I don't know. From a filmmaking perspective, they have a lot of flaws.
No. When, I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about in general when it comes to comparison. Like in the public eye.
Yeah, we'll get to episode 2 and 3, but there's a lot to unpack there.
No, that's a whole separate trilogy. I'm just talking about the public eye.
Yeah,
how like
he basically got burnt. Like he just got slagged off by everybody in existence.
He didn't.
And he got to the point, and he's just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna sell it.
He didn't.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's sad because he was a part of it. He created it and he loved it, and it was his baby. And then he fucked up, and then everyone hated him. He's like, you know what? I'm out. And Disney fucked it up.
I enjoyed the prequels. I would so be okay with rewriting them.
You can't redo them. They're done. You can't redo any of this. It's all done. Disney needs to do something else. The Mandalorian, other movies that have nothing to do with any of these characters. Let's not see any of these characters ever again.
I'm excited.
We're done.
I'm excited for the Old Republic ones if they can do them right.
Yeah.
I feel like now Disney's learned. Like the Rise of Skywalker could be helped.
It was damage control, and they kind of did damage control.
I feel like what they did a pretty good job of it. But yeah, damage control, like you said. I feel like now they've maybe learned their lesson. The Old Republic trilogy might be okay.
All you need to do is hire talented artists to create these films. Yeah.
Not
somebody with a vision. I mean, I know Rian Johnson had a vision, but it didn't gel with me.
No, he was more concerned about SJW bullshit than actually making a good movie.
And subverting every trope.
I'm so sick of the idea of subverting expectation. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want something new, but I'm okay with something old as long as it's done well.
I really like subversions, but normally subversions are satisfying. Where his subversions were just like, oh.
Yeah. They hurt.
Yeah, they physically hurt my childhood. So in conclusion, Disney dropped the ball with this new trilogy.
Yeah, and that's forever a part of the Star Wars, like, main story.
I mean, I feel like the original trilogy was good. The prequel trilogy is like fundamentally flawed as far as films go. And then this new trilogy is just like, fuck.
The fuck, like, do you remember when we were kids we used to talk about episode 7, 8, and 9?
Yeah, I got so much high hopes.
Do you reckon they're going to do 10, 11, 12?
I don't want to see Rey or Poe or Finn ever again. Can we be done with these cunts? Don't want to see these new characters ever again.
Did you change her name to fucking Skywalker?
I just don't want to see her.
Fuck.
Can she leave? Is she gone? I don't want to see. This is what I've taken away from this film. I don't want to see these characters ever again.
Yeah,
that's not a good thing.
Yeah, no. If
you come out of a film and say, I never want to see these characters ever again, that's not a positive.
No, I don't want to see it again. Not unless Poe and Finn make out.
I mean, I would definitely watch a 40-minute porno with them. But that's all I want to see.
Who do you think could be the bitch?
Finn?
I reckon, yeah, I was about to say, I reckon Finn.
Yeah, Finn is less dominant. But I mean, it'll all play out in the new porno coming in January 27 to Disney Plus.
The Finn and Poe story.
Alright, you got nothing else to add?
I got nothing.
Thank you for watching, and it'd really help out if you guys could boycott Disney apart from The Mandalorian, which is actually
Mandalorian is fucking great. That's not...
And in the comments, tell us what you think. Why Sidious came back, I don't know, nobody knows.
But yet, how he came back. Tell us that.
If he came back.
Because I'm curious. The Force. It's basically the Star Wars equivalent of saying a wizard did it.
Yeah. Alright, a wizard did it.
He was attached to some big machine and shit. And like, who the fuck is... Like, did all the Empire just follow him to the outer regions? Who the fuck is manning all these ships?
Please explain.
Spoiler. You know the fucking line.
Please explain.
Tolkien spent 10 years writing Lord of the Rings. 10 fucking years, a decade writing these stories. Disney, a multi-conglomerate billion-dollar corporation, couldn't sit down and go, This is what we want to happen in this new trilogy that we just spent $4 billion on.
Please explain.
But they were just in such a hurry to get the Star Wars shit out so they could sell merchandise and shit. Like, trilogy.
I don't want to turn to the dark side, but I'm killing all my friends. I have Force lightning. I'm Sidious's granddaughter.
Please explain.
Cherry! I'm gonna do this. And then cut to Carrie Fisher and she's just like, yeah.
For me, it wasn't terrible, but except for that one scene where Maz was there.
Please explain.
Yeah.
They didn't have the guts to make a white man and an African American man make out for 47 seconds in Star Wars.
47 seconds.
I wanted them to really go at it. Just like,
that is a very long.
Please explain.
That is.
Please explain.
That was creepy as fuck.
Lays.
The thing about this trilogy is it's just about who, like, okay, here's the Force, my dick's bigger than yours.
Please explain.
And now it's just Rey picking up massive boulders and Palpatine shooting up, and why didn't he do that in fucking Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
There was no way he was more powerful than in Return of the Jedi.
Please explain.
Oh no.
That was creepy as fuck. Now imagine if he used the Force to bring it back, right? She comes back, but she's been dead for long enough that she comes back as like a vegetable. And then he dies anyway.
And then he kisses her.
Please explain.
He was the only interesting fucking character in this whole fucking series! I feel like if you're blasting a fucking X-Wing with fucking lightning to turn off all its power, like, how are you not destroying it?
Please explain.
Yeah, why wouldn't he just destroy it? He clearly could.
Yeah, was he wearing a wig? He was wearing a wig! Yeah, was he wearing a wig? He was wearing a wig! Doing drugs is wrong, kids. If you smoke marijuana needles, you'll turn into a gay.
Please explain.
Fuck this. Oh, that was creepy as fuck.
The dark side of the Force.
Please explain.
The dark side of the Force is a path to many abilities most would consider unnatural. That's the line.
The dark side of the Force.
Please explain.
The Force.
Please explain.
But see, what you need, right? Now stay with me here. This is going to be an outrageous statement. What you need in these fucking series of films is a scene in the film where you properly explain.
Please explain.
Oh yeah, Phasma. I didn't even think about it when I was watching the film.
The Knights of Ren. Speaking of all aesthetics, no depth, who are the Knights of Ren?
Please explain.
Lightsaber. Oh, 2 lightsabers. What about second breakfast? Like,
I don't want to see Rey or Poe or Finn ever again.
Okay. Can we? Okay, I can't believe we haven't mentioned this yet. Can we talk about the fact that Darth Sidious has every Sith Lord inside him?
Please explain.
Whatever. No, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't work. Okay, they didn't set it up.
They didn't set it up at all.
Please explain.
It's made me hate the fucking Last Jedi even more. Can you imagine a fucking civil war there?
Wait. Could you imagine if the trilogy was good?
Please explain.
Star Wars!
Please explain.
That's such a pathetic way to beat a villain, holding 2 lightsabers in a crisscross.
Star Wars! Let's go home. I want to go home!
Lightsaber. Oh, 2 lightsabers. What about second breakfast? Like,